Boom. Hey y'all, Jeremy here. This was unplanned. This is spontaneous because the title I put in is Do What Works, a rant. And this is kind of me, not so much frustrated, so much as just like, ugh, seriously. And here's why, okay? I'm in a bunch of groups. You know this. And Autumn and I did a quiz a couple of days ago, and it's like one of those personality quizzes, and I could, well, mostly B, but sometimes C, and I could be a little bit A. And Autumn's like, nope, you have to pick one. And so we went through it all, and the end result, it's about argument styles. I'm a bulldozer. I just like drive through, and I love arguing, and I love getting to the resolution, and it's okay if we argue because that gets everybody's thoughts and feelings out. So, ladies and gentlemen, this group, right? This is in the private. Right now, it's called Unstoppable Masculine, but we're going to probably change it to the Unstoppable Mindset, because polarity is important, and I talk about that a lot. But really, if I had to distill what I do, it's really about mastering your mindset, and it's about how to start getting control of the belief systems, the BS that you have running in your head that drives to your behavior, because the story, the belief system, always controls your behavior. If you want to change behavior, change the story first, because that's what's going to make it happen. And what kind of sparked this is I'm in a group, and I engage with a lot of different people on a lot of different topics, and I see a lot of people that are suffering, and they're in pain, and they're seeing a therapist or a psychologist, and they're taking medication, and they're doing this and doing that and all these things, but they still got problems. They still have pain. They still have unresolved stuff, existential wounds, and I see them. They're bleeding on fuck everything all the time, everywhere. Their relationships, their kids, themselves, what's going on with their parents, their marriage, whatever. There's struggle, and there's heartache, and there's headache, and none of that is wrong. Those are all just patterns of behavior that are being driven by a story. So the specific thing I'm thinking of right this very instant, there's a guy, and he posted this post. This big, huge thing about how, like, everything hit ahead on Thursday because of all this stuff since COVID closed down March of last year. Stack. And he's like, got a psychologist, and he's on medication, but he's drinking a little bit, and then, but I can handle it, but then it's not really that great. And then it did all these other things, and then he, like, boom, he hit this what's called threshold. He hit a point where it all went sideways. He got mind-numbingly drunk, wrote a suicide note that his kids found, and then went out into the world to go do a thing, and didn't work because he was too drunk to make it happen. Ended up hospitalized for 3 days because whatever. And it's like, dude, you're spending how much money and how much time and how much, but I'm seeing a therapist, I'm taking medication. If that shit was working, then the problem would be done. See, this is the thing. Therapy and counseling and all these different things, you got to ask them, what is their end result? As an interventionist, as a practitioner, what is their goal? Is their goal to teach you how to cope and how to manage an ongoing thing that will never ever change? Or is their goal to get you to resolution and let go of the past and change what's going on in the present so that you can live in a compelling future and a life that you love and adore? Because the dirty secret in the psychiatry world is, we're going to show you how to manage. We're going to medicate your symptomology. We're going to control you because you can't control yourself because you're broken. And so we're just going to do what we have to do to cope. We're not actually going to teach you to resolve fuck anything. Because resolving things, they lose a customer. They lose a client. And well, if we get it wrong, you might kill yourself. That's okay. While they're treating you, you might kill yourself. In reaction to the medication they put you on that's not dialed in properly, or you gained weight or lost weight, or the seasons are changing and affecting you, you still might kill yourself. So there's no guarantees if we just try to manage it. So it's like, no, not manage. Go to the source and resolve. Not because you're wrong. You're not wrong. This gentleman, the things he's going through, they're not wrong. They are ripples of a pattern. If we take a rock and throw it in the water, we're going to get ripples. Well, he even put in his post the issues with his parents and never being present for him and never being good enough. And so he's got this childhood wound he's carrying with him. There's no amount of plugging stuff on the outside that is ever going to fix something on the inside. You have to use the right tool for the job. I've said this so many times this past 2 weeks. A ladder in the kitchen to get to the top shelf is probably going to put holes in the ceiling, but a ladder outside to get on the roof is beautiful. A chair in the kitchen to reach the top shelf is helpful, but a chair on the side of the house to get on the roof not always works that great. There's nothing wrong with the ladder. There's nothing wrong with the chair. There's nothing wrong with you. It's using the right tool and the right job to get to the right place, wherever it is we want to get to. And so many people wallow, or they're at effect. They're a victim of. They're at the result of a pattern of a bunch of other stuff. You didn't know. You didn't know it was possible. You didn't know it was available, right? The work that I do, the one-on-one stuff, I guarantee the shift. And it's like, well, you can't say that. You can't do that. Motherfucker, you're not me. And I'm not saying that from ego or hubris or arrogance. I'm saying that from, I've seen it. I've been through the results. There's now new stuff coming out from neuroscientists that say that other people's opinions affects our brain. Other people's attitudes towards us affects our brain. Duh. Right? The words people use create the reality they live in. That's for ourselves. The words we use create our reality. The words other people use to describe us creates our reality. It impacts our reality. This has been known in the neurolinguistic world, the NLP stuff I'm certified in. It's been known since the 70s and even beyond that. There was this thing called transformational grammar. They looked at the way people use words to describe meaning, and people were making deletions and distortions, and they would take what they knew, but then the way they languaged it, they represented it differently, and that changes everything. Is this a problem? Is this an opportunity? That one word difference changes all your resources inside. Because if you describe a situation to yourself as a problem, it marshals certain psychological dimensions. But then if you say to yourself it's an opportunity, it marshals different psychological dimensions. But even if you say it's an opportunity, for some people that's exciting because they want to go create and they want to make. And for other people, an opportunity is scary because what if I mess it up and I don't deserve to be successful? That's why the words in and of themselves, meaning is subjective. No, CP just got a mouse and is stalking up to me now. But meaning is subjective. We can create it. Do you have a problem? Do you have an opportunity? Is this a crisis? Is this a calling? And to see people suffering and wasting money on things that don't work, to me, is appalling. Hey, I made a rhyme. Right? I do guaranteed stuff, but it ain't cheap. Because I can't go to insurance. Because there's no profit motive to keep you 10, 20 years. There's a guy I talked to 17 years in therapy, the same problems. If he's spending $100 a month, even if it's, well, I just paid it to insurance, so it's cheaper, but $100 a month, 12 months is $1,200, 17 years is over $20,000. It's enough to raise a kid all the way from birth through graduate high school, and it's not resolved. So all the stuff that he's learning, all the stuff that he's doing, it's not so much I care about the wasted money, it's the wasted life and the impact to him and how it ripples. Because what if 17 and a half years ago, he had been able to pivot that stuff and never have the 17 years of bullshit, the 17 years of limited belief? What would that do for him? What would that do for his family? What would that do for his career? What would that do for his relationships, his health, everything? And this is the thing that drives me up the wall the absolute most, is people running a strategy that's not working, but it's so cheap. But I can get insurance. But insurance will pay for it. But it's not giving you your result. So whether you save money or not, you lose your marriage. You save money or not, your kid leaves you or abandons you. They get tired of your manipulation. They want nothing to do with you. Whether it's cheap or not, it's not getting you the result. And that's what matters the absolute most. The one thing you can never get back is time. Money comes and goes. Money can be generated. There are ways to figure things out. But if you waste 10 years of your life, no amount of money will ever give you that back. You weren't there for your child birth through 10, nothing will replace that. You can do some cool stuff when they're older, but to have the influence and to make the impact, it's not as powerful as if you're there from the rip. So if you're struggling with your mindset, your belief system, if you're in therapy and it's not getting you resolution, the stuff I do, we resolve it one conversation for most of the stuff. That gets you out of the hole. Then there's some ripples to deal with along the way. There's some, after effects and things like that. And well, I've shifted, but how do I trust? And I'm worried about this. And I'm concerned about that. Those are fair concerns, and we can manage those too. That's why I do follow-up sessions. I used to just do one and done, and I realized, oh, there's still ripples. So now I do packages of like 10 to 20, or not even 20, sorry, 5 to 10. And most people never even get to 10. Somewhere around 6 to 8, they're good. Like, we're done. There's nothing left to talk about because I've given them the tools and the strategies, everything I know how to do. Not that they're qualified to do it for other people, but they could repackage and reframe themselves. Now, this isn't a sales pitch. This is really just, I'm sick and tired of watching people suffer needlessly. Because suffering is self-generated. Nobody else can make you suffer. Only you can make you suffer. Other people, they can cause you pain. But your rules, your belief systems, your values, your priorities, that's what makes you suffer. And if that's what's happening, let's change that belief system. CB didn't kill the mouse. She let it loose. It's over there somewhere. Now she's chasing it. She caught it again. This cat is amazing. Scary. I'm glad I'm not... It just squeaked. She didn't kill it again. Like, I heard a squeaky noise. This little animal. It's a squeak toy next to me. She lost it again. Anyway. So, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your feedback. Does this resonate with you? Does this land for you? Or am I just some crazy guy outside yelling at the camera? Just, I'm full of crap and I should just shut up and I should let everybody just suffer and wallow and be in misery and I should stop trying to help. Because it really does break my heart. Because, like, I don't want to go to people that are in trouble and they're suicidal and they're depressed and they're overwhelmed and just be like, hey, yo, 5 to 10 grand, we could just fix that. Like, boom, done. One conversation, just done. That feels macabre, feels predatory. But yet, that's the entire mental health world. It is predatory. If they're not working to get you resolved in the shortest amount of time possible, then they're ripping you off. And they're keeping you attached and doled out and at effect because that's where they make their money. If we actually resolve people's mental stuff, teach them how to take control of their mental process, they lose customers, they lose clients. And it's so much easier just to give people drugs and numb their symptomology and suppress what's going on rather than get to the source and say, oh, I changed my frame of reference, everything changes. So you tell me, what do you think? Like, I'm honestly asking. Because my whole life is about teaching people to master their mindset. Does anybody care? Does anybody want that? Or do they want to have the good story and the loser's limp and it's not my fault, it's because somebody else. I can point the finger somewhere else. Is that really the world we want to live in? Because I don't. That's why I have the paid group that I do, is people that are more dialed in. They hear what I'm saying and they're like, gosh, that makes so much sense. And they're either, they've already worked with me one-on-one or they're not ready to work with me one-on-one. But $100 a month, they're in my presence, they're in my mindset, they're in my mind space. They can ask questions, we can have dialogues. We do a free, well, not free, we do an included coaching call once a week. Right? I don't know, man. You tell me. I'm here to serve. I'm here to create. So, that's all I got. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.